Welcome to the Base Movement School video series. This is the Week 7 Junior Strength program. I am Jazz.
I'm John.
And I'll be taking John through your program today. For today's session, we'll be using some sort of different resistance. So we're going to be using a backpack. So hopefully you've got your school backpack or any bag, and then any books or any sort of weight that you can add into that to get a bit of resistance. If you do have weights and you prefer to use that, totally fine as well, but we thought we would show you a different way of doing so. Otherwise, we're going to get stuck straight into it. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is a double leg moving pogo. So John's going to start just like this. Perfect. So main things here, we want to keep our feet under our hips, toes up and landing on the balls of our feet. So we're going to do 2 by 10 of those. So we're going to go again. Good, keeping those toes up nice and light and bouncy off the ground. Perfect. Cool. Next one we're going to do, we need a little bit of space. We're going to go do the same thing, but this time in the shape of a square. So we're going to keep our feet under our hips, making a square or a box. We're going to go around 5 times. Okay, cool. Once we've done that, have a rest, and then we're going to go again for one more time through, but we're going to go the other way around. Same thing, nice and light and bouncy on the balls of our feet. Perfect. Cool. Next exercise we're going to go through is a double leg tall to small. So we're going to go standing up nice and tall, and then bringing our arms down as fast as we can, hips back, chest tall. Good. So we're going to do 4 of those. As we can see, John's bringing his arms down as quick as he can and keeping a nice straight back. Cool. So now we're going to progress that exercise. So we're doing our tall to smalls, but then we're going to add a lateral push to the side. So John will show us just for the first one. Standing up nice and tall, arms go back, and then pushing as soon as we land to the side. So we're going to do 2 each side. And then again, when we finish that lateral position, we're going to finish in our base position with our feet under our hips. Good. So we're going on to the other side now. Perfect. Cool. Okay, and for the last exercise today with our warm-up, we're going to be doing a reactive square drill. So we've got our square on the floor, but you need to find, you can either set it out with some objects or just know the space you're working with. So standing in the middle of your square, we're going to go through 4 times through. Around each of the points. As we can see, John's pushing off his outside foot. Quick feet, strong outside foot push off. Good. Cool. Once we've done 4, we're going to have a rest, and then we're going to go through the other way around. As we could notice from what John was doing, if he's on this side of the square, it is his left foot being pushed off. So left side of the square, left foot, right side of the square, right foot pushing off. So we're going to turn our hips and a strong outside foot. So we're going to go through and we're going to swap sides. So swap the way that you were going the first time, whenever you're ready. Good. Another 4 times through, changing the angle of your hips and quick pushing off. Quick feet, reacting. Almost there. Good. So hopefully you guys are all warm now and you're ready to go, because we're going to get stuck into our first set. So remember what we said at the start, you're going to need a backpack and a little bit of space. Otherwise, any equipment that you would prefer to use or have been using in the past. So we've got our backpack here. So John's going to chuck this one on his back. First exercise we're going to be doing, first superset should I say, is a backpack back squat, and we're going to be pairing that with a hinge ITY. So we've done these previously, but now we're going to add them in again. So with our squat, setting ourselves up with our feet under our hips, hips go back and chest stays up. So we're going to be doing 10 of these. Nice and slow and controlled, don't rush through. See it? remember, you can add any sort of, in the backpack, you can add full drink bottles, you can add your books in there, any sort of weight that you have, anything will work. So when we've done that, popping our bag down, and then we're going to go into our hinge ITY. So we're going to set ourselves up with our feet under our hips, hips back, and a nice flat back, and then we're going to make the shape I, Y, and T. So when we're doing this, we want to imagine that when we're bringing our arms up, we're squeezing our shoulders together, shoulder blades together, like we've got $50 in between them. Perfect. Cool. So once we've done 3 times through, we're going to chuck our bag back on. And we're going to go through that 2 more times. If you do need a rest between any of the exercises, take a rest and then get stuck back into it. So again, setting up with our feet under our hips, sitting down literally like we're sitting on a chair, keeping that chest up. Good. And another 10 here. Good. Few more reps here, guys. Cool. And once you've done 10, popping the bag back down. Now we're going to go into our next set of our ITYs. So setting ourselves up in our hinge position. Good, I, Y, and T. And making sure we're squeezing those shoulder blades back like we've got our $50 note each time. And pausing for a few seconds. Perfect, cool. Once we've done that, grab a drink if you need, otherwise we're going to chuck our backpack back on our back. I've got one more set of our back squats. If you do find that your backpack isn't heavy enough or it's too heavy, you can adjust the weight. Good. So remember, setting ourselves up with our feet under our hips, driving those knees out, keeping the chest up. That's it. So remember, don't rush through. Take your time. Count to 3 seconds if you need to count to 3 seconds. Make sure you're following along at the pace John's going. Cool. Now we're going to go through our last set of our ITYs. Good. So as we can see, John's keeping a nice flat back. He's pushing his hips back. And then he's squeezing those shoulder blades together as he moves through, spelling each letter with his arms. Perfect. So that is our first superset done. So hopefully you were able to follow along. Grab a drink if you need a drink, otherwise we're going to get stuck straight into our second superset. For our second superset today, you will need your backpack again, and you'll also need a little bit of space. So we're going to be doing a superset with a 1 arm, 1 leg RDL. So we're going to be using our backpack, and then we're also going to be using the backpack to do a split squat as well. So grab that. So you need to grab it so that you can hold it in 1 arm, and then setting ourselves up, bending that knee slightly, extending our back leg, and spelling the letter T. So as we can see, John, as he extends his leg back, he almost makes the letter T. So nice and slow and controlled with these ones, and we're going for 10 reps. So a few more here. Slow and controlled. There we go. Once you've done 10, grabbing a hand, so make sure that you're swapping the bag as well as swapping the leg. Setting yourself up. Slight bend in that knee and extending that back leg out. So really important that we make the letter T here. So as you can see, the backpack being in just one hand is going to try and tip us over. So we want to try and stay as straight as we can as we move through each rep. Perfect. Last few here, guys. Cool, perfect. So now we need our backpack again. So we're going to be using it, giving it a bit of a hug, and then setting ourselves up with our front leg bent, back leg bent, and then up and down. So again, nice and slow and controlled with each rep. Coming up all the way straight. So we should be pushing our weight through the front foot, up and down, just like a jack in the box. Once you've done 10 on one leg, swapping over, setting ourselves up again so our front leg is bent, back leg bent, and then up and down motion again, giving our bag a bit of a hug. Nice and slow, guys, slow and controlled. Cool. So now we're going to go back to our first exercise again. We need our bag again, giving it a bit of a twist, holding it in one hand, opposite arm, opposite leg, slight bend in the knee, and make the letter T. So again, feel free to adjust the weight in your backpack, depending if it was too easy or too hard. If it was a little bit too easy, maybe add another book in there, add another drink bottle. If it was too hard, feel free to take some out. Good, so remember that bag being in one hand is going to try and tip us over. We want to try and stay as tall and upright as possible. Good, swapping arms and swapping legs. And moving on to our next set. Extending that back leg out, making a nice letter T, and nice and slow and controlled. Okay, now we're going to go through our second set of our split squats. So we're going to give the bag a bit of a hug, setting up our front knee and our back knee, and up and down just like a jack in the box. So it's important that we don't rush through each of these reps. We take it nice and slow and controlled, and give our bag a bit of a hug. Feel free, if you do have straps, you can pop the bag on. Swapping legs, setting ourselves up again, front knee bent, back knee bent, and then up and down again. So we don't want to be moving forward and backwards, we want to be moving up and down, like I said, like a jack in the box. So coming all the way up, don't stop. So that is now our second superset done. We do have one more superset afterwards, but if you do need a drink, pause the video and go grab a drink and come back. So now we're going to get into our third set of each of these exercises. So giving the bag a bit of a twist, setting ourselves up again, opposite arm, opposite leg, bending that knee slightly, and making the letter T, so extending that back leg out. Slow and controlled here. Try and follow along at the same pace that John's doing his reps. And with our bag positioning, we don't want it to be all the way out here. Should be just roughly in line with our front leg. Swapping legs, so swapping arms as well, remember. Setting ourselves up, slightly bending the knee, and then extending that back leg out so we make the letter T. Nice and slow and controlled. A few more reps here, guys. Cool. now our last set for our single leg RDLs. We're now going to go into our split squats. So giving the bag a bit of a hug, and then up and down motions again. So pushing our weight through the front foot. If you do find they are really tricky with the weight at the moment, feel free to drop the weight for the last set. Good. Last few reps here. Good. Swapping over. Setting ourselves up. Front leg bent, back knee bent, and up and down motions. So remember with these ones, we don't want our back knee to be bashing into the ground, so we want to control it all the way down. It's okay if it touches, but as long as we're not smacking it into the ground. Okay, so that is now our second superset done. We have one more superset to go, but if you do need a drink, go grab a drink, pause the video. So for the last superset, so we still need our bag, we're going to be doing a little bit of core exercises. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is a dead bug. So we're going to need our bag, and same thing how we've been holding our hands normally with our dead bugs. We're just going to hold the bag and then tapping our leg as far out as we can, seeing if we can get to the ground, and 5 on each leg. So remember, keeping those arms nice and straight, keeping that back nice and flat. So imagine if my hand was underneath John's back, you'd be crushing my hand with your spine. Cool. So now we need our backpack again. And we're going to be in our half kneeling position. So this is like our split squat position. We're going to have one front leg forward, and then our back knee bent, and then we're going to be pushing the bag out, and then rotating 90 degrees over the front knee, and then back in again. So out, over, and back in. So we're going to be doing 10 reps. Last few here. Perfect. Now setting ourselves up again. Bag on our chest, out, and then rotating. So with this one, it is quite tricky. So if you do need to take some weight out of the bag, feel free to do so, because we don't want you to be twisting and turning. We want you to be able to stay up nice and straight and rotate all the way through with control, rather than just flopping into that position that we're not after. So good. Remember, we're just twisting over that front knee and then back again. So 90 degrees, back to the middle, and then into our chest. So now we've got one more set of each of the exercises. Have a rest though if you do need a rest. So remember, we're grabbing our bag and holding it up nice and straight. Okay. Setting our knees up at 90 degrees and then tapping the ground as far out as we can. Keeping that back nice and flat. Remember, crushing that hand that's underneath your back. And 5 each leg, nice and slow and controlled here. You don't want to be rushing each rep. Good. If you're finding that too tricky with the bag, don't worry about the bag, just hold your hands up like that. Now we've got one more set of the rotational holds. So setting ourselves out, front knee bent, back knee bent, and twisting over that front knee. We want to roughly keep the bag at our chest height each time we go through. We don't want to be lowering it up here, or we don't want our arms up here either. That's it. Last few reps here, guys. Now we've got one more leg to do. We're setting ourselves up. Front knee bent, back knee bent. And then out, in, and rotate. Remember to keep the bag at that chest height and control through each rep. So don't let that bag pull you down or topple you over. Nice work, guys. Keep going. Nice and controlled here. Keeping that bag at the chest height over the front knee. So that is the end of our exercise today. So good job. We hope you were able to follow along with everything. But as per usual, if there was any concerns with any of the equipment or any of the exercises, be sure to pop it in the comment section below, or either John or myself will get back to you. Make sure that you follow us on our YouTube channel and also our Instagram and Facebook, as that's where we're going to be keep posting frequent videos and notifications about the video series. Apart from that, we will see you on Wednesday for our next video. Thank you.